Hello there everybody, my name is Adam Cleary and today I have seen Matrix Resurrections, the fourth film in the Matrix trilogy, if that makes sense. The sequel, the legacy-quel, I think it's being billed at, a continuation of the story we thought we were finished with some 18 years ago. We are back in that world of the Matrix, in the world of Trinity, in the world of Neo, in the world of the war between man and machine, and I will now, for you, attempt to contextualize and explain its big ending. Its really big ending. Now before I start, a little bit of housekeeping. I normally really enjoy doing ending explained videos. I think it's a really nice opportunity to talk about and discuss the ending of a movie, especially if it's one with implications or one that's particularly interesting. But I do always think, as a premise, they fall down a little bit, because if you need the ending to be explained to you, that's maybe a fault in the storytelling. There's maybe something unsatisfying about the narrative that means it needs additional context given to you by somebody who has nothing to do with the movie and could be completely wrong. But I think for Matrix Resurrections, this sounds sarcastic, I mean this sincerely, I think it's gone for such a big concept, it's had to do so many cartwheels just to pick that story back up, it was maybe impossible for it to necessarily wrap it all up in a way that everybody will understand on first watch. So, there are a few things I would like to talk about because I think it's an ending that deserves an explanation. My explanation, particularly. So, my name is Adam Cleary and this is the Matrix 4 Resurrections Ending Explained. And also, we'll talk about the post-credits. It's all here! Okay, so just to walk you through the final act of this movie, we start in Simulate, the coffee shop with the incredibly on-the-nose joke, and Neo sits across from the analyst and tells him that he knows that they need both Neo and Trinity back in the Matrix, so he will willingly return and plug himself back in if that is what Trinity wants. He has been thus far unable to free her from the Matrix. She has a life here, and it has been revealed in the film that a lot of people, both man and machine, are happy being in that dream world. It's not as black and white as it was before. Some people enjoy being plugged into the power plant because it's a much simpler life. And the question is asked to Neo before they mount their daring rescue, what if Trinity is happy where she is? She has a handsome husband, she has 3 children, she has a life. She knows nothing on a conscious level of the horrors, the struggle of the real world. What if she wants to stay there? And Neo acknowledges that if she wants to stay there, he will join her. That's the premise. And then of course we get this scene where she says she can't do it. They sit down in the cafe and it's all very tense and she says she can't do it. She goes to leave with her husband but then tells him, you know what, I've always hated the name Tiffany. Hiya! And then a big fight scene erupts. She does want to leave the Matrix with Neo, and the only way they can do that is by escaping the onslaught, by escaping the backlash that the analyst is going to unleash to try and stop them escaping. What follows is the movie's climactic action sequence where Neo, Trinity, and the other freed minds from Io attempt to escape, get to an exit point so they can unplug from the Matrix, and then, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But to stop them doing that, the analyst first unleashes all of his agents, then all of the other programs he controls, before finally entering swarm mode, which just turns the movie into a zombie film, and then going one further and just having all these NPCs, these bots, these other people in the Matrix, basically dive bomb Trinity and Neo and explode. It gets really, really crazy. It's a thrilling sequence, but it just goes all over the place. And of course they manage to duck and weave and dive and evade, and Neo's doing his force power stuff, stopping things exploding, stopping bullets from getting them. They have to just get somewhere, anywhere away from all of this, and eventually they are trapped. They come off their motorbike, they head to the roof of a building. 2 helicopters try to take them on. Neo's able to destroy one of them, and they realize the only way out, as so often is the case in the Matrix, is to fly. They go to take the big run and jump off the top of the building. Talking back to that scene in the first Matrix where, you know, can Neo make the jump? It's one of the critical visual cruxes of the Matrix, that whole leap. But they don't know if they can do it. Neo tried to fly before. He doesn't know if he's still got those sort of powers. Trinity's only just decided that she actually believes there is more to life than was presented. They have to try and get out. It is the leap of faith, the only way they can escape. And as they go to jump off the building, they begin to fall. And that is when the big twist is revealed. Neo falls and he's caught in midair, in fresh air, by Trinity, who is just floating there. And in a panic, he goes, "Are you doing this? It's not me doing this." And she takes his hand and she flies them both away. Is it reminiscent of Pucci going back to his home planet ever so slightly? I think yes, but does possibly work in the moment, work with all of that emotion behind it. And then they wake up in the real world to find out that they have escaped the Matrix. They have escaped the wrath of the Analyst, and they are both, for the first time since the end of the third Matrix movie, free. Now, as was heavily implied leading up to this, this would lead to a purge. The Analyst was only in charge because he was getting results, and he was getting results because he realized that the only way you could make the Matrix work perfectly was to have both Neo and Trinity in there, but not have them unite, because combined they destroy the Matrix, but when they're in there, they provide enough power, enough suspension of disbelief. There is some cosmic energy they give off which enables everybody else to accept the program and enjoy it. And thus, this new Matrix that we've seen in this film has been breaking all kinds of records. It's been the most successful Matrix yet because of his key formula of Neo plus Trinity divided by sexing each other equals profit. And this is the key thing, because I think a lot of people are going to misunderstand what happens here. They will read that as, oh, so now Trinity just magically has the same powers as Neo does. That makes no sense whatsoever. Why have they just given her that? She was never able to do that in the first film. They don't even explain why she's able to do it now. What a ridiculous rug pull ending. And do you know what? That was my initial read of it as well, until I thought about it for 5 minutes. There are two key lines in this movie that explain exactly what that is about. The first one comes from the Analyst, who points out that when he tried to put Neo back in, nothing happened. For all his being the one, for all of his being the anomaly to end all anomalies, nothing actually happened when they rebuilt his body, rebuilt his soul, and put him back in the Matrix. It was only when they added Trinity did something start to happen. He says to Neo and Trinity, individually, you two are nothing special. There's nothing about you two. But when combined, something happens. That is what causes the anomaly. Now that's all well and good. We'll compartmentalize that. That's one half of this. The other half is Neo himself before they go back in. He tells Bugs that he never believed that he was the one. He never actually thought he had any powers. He never actually thought he was going to be the one to end the war between man and machine. It was only Trinity who believed in him. And now it was his turn to believe in her. And while it's a very on-the-nose thing to say, like, oh, it's about love, and it's about, oh, she made me feel like I could be anything I wanted to be, it's deeper than that. It was because she believed in him that he was the one. Not that he was able to become it, but that is what gave him his power. It was their combination. The fact that when they were together, he could do anything he wanted to do because they were one unit. They were one anomaly within the Matrix. It wasn't just that there was a one, they were the one. And that is why at the end of this movie, it is Trinity who is able to take the powers of the one and get them out of there, because Neo now believes in her the way she believed in him. It's that story from the first movie about her making him the one. They have that same power. Yes, Trinity now has the powers Neo had within the Matrix, but Neo has the power to believe in her and label her to do this. It's deep, it's in there. Maybe I'm reaching ever so slightly, but those two lines of dialogue felt so important to a final scene which is otherwise unexplained. And then they awaken and they go back and they go to revisit the Analyst, who is now on the back foot, who now knows that he is messed up. He knows he has no power over these two. And they ask him quite bluntly, thought this place was going to get deleted once we took ourselves out of it. Why are you still here? And he explains that, well, he knows the place inside out. Someone's going to have to start cleaning this up. And sooner or later, you two are going to realize that it doesn't work without you. And all these sheeple do not want to leave. So you are going to have to come back, and you are going to have to fix this. And they simply respond with, yes, that is what we're going to do, but on our terms. Trinity says he has given them a second chance. But a second chance at what? Well, put simply, a second chance to do what Neo promised he was going to do at the end of the first Matrix. Have you ever thought it was tonally weird how the first Matrix went from one would be born within the Matrix who could rebuild it as he saw fit, and then they didn't do any of that in the second or third films because they fought the war between man and machine? That's kind of what this film is about. It's why we've got that distance between Io and Zion. It's not about fighting a war. It's not about waging a war, because you cannot destroy the Matrix. It's too integral to everything. You have to rebuild it as you see fit, which is what Neo was always supposed to do at the end of the first film. And now that they both have this power, that they both realize they can do whatever they want here, that is their second chance. They are now going to rebuild the Matrix as they see fit. Not tear it down, not end the war, not free humanity. They are going to build the Matrix in a way that works for both the inhabitants of this planet, for the man, for the machine. And then if you pay attention, the Matrix Resurrections flashes up on the screen and then changes to the Matrix Resurrects. They have completed the journey of the One. Not the way it was presented to them by the architect, but the actual journey of the One. To free the Matrix, but in a sense that it still exists. What they've actually done is, instead of making a fourth film to the trilogy, they have gone and made a proper sequel to the first movie. It obviously doesn't change what happened in the second or third film, but it presents the idea that the actions taken, the narrative in that, was the wrong way to go. They followed Morpheus, who believed they could end all of this, but he's not there anymore now. There's other people in charge. Now Neo and Trinity are making this decision, and they have done what the One was always supposed to do. You were always going to have to make some huge creative decisions to bring back the Matrix in any capacity whatsoever, and I think, as far as it goes, looking back at the second and third film and going, wow, maybe we were the dicks all along. Maybe we could work together. It's a pretty brave way to do it. And I think they pull it off. And if you think about it, so much of the original film is remade shot for shot in this video. They are effectively rewalking the path that Neo originally went on, except this time it ends with them both, and it ends with a better clarity of vision for how the human race can continue. That is effectively what she's talking about with a second chance. They've gone back to those moments at the end of the first Matrix, and they're now going to make the right decision rather than the wrong one. And that's it. That's the Matrix Resurrections. It's we've done a full spoiler review, which you can go check out on What Culture. I have to say, I think it did a lot of good stuff. I don't think it's perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I had a really good time watching the thing, so go check that out if you want to know more about it. But then, of course, we do get to the end credit scene, don't we? If you're wondering why that's not getting its own video, it's because it's half a joke. They go back to the meeting room where all the game developers are talking about how you make a game, and one of them goes, hey, do you know what? Films are dead. Games are dead. Narratives are dead. What you need is cat content. Which is kind of a joke because there's a cat in this film now, and the cat's a central part. But then what that is a setup for a joke, and then it ends. There's no actual cat. No cat appears. There's no giant cat kicks through the window. One of them head falls off and it's a cat, or it's something. There's no rim shot to this joke. It's a badum, and then that's it. So it's kind of, as post-credit scenes go, it sucks. Like, genuinely, normally, even the really bad, underwhelming ones, you stay through, you watch the end credits, you sit there for 5 minutes, and you get your little laugh before you go out. If you've not seen this film yet, I cannot stress this enough. Just go home, beat the traffic, go for dinner, do something else. This end credit scene is, it's diabolically just not even well thought out. I thought it was broken, what I saw. I thought it had just gone off. But no, that's apparently it. Anyway, yes, so end credit scene bad, ending of the movie and its implications and the story it tells and how it ties everything together, I actually think really good in many, many ways, but let me know what you made of it all in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, until the next major movie comes out and I gotta drag my carcass to see it, I have been Adam Cleary. You can get me on Twitter at Adam Cleary, C-L-E-R-Y. Get all of us at What Culture, at What Culture. But until next time, my friends, I will see you soon. Goodbye.